Hello everyone, welcome to Kitchmore. We are now in English 7, Quarter 1, Week 7 on analyzing literary texts. So grab your pens, open your minds, and let's get started. In our previous video, we discussed about the purpose and features of poetry and of course the structure elements of poetry as preparation for your composition of your own poem. Truth or just words? Now, let's take a moment to think about these common phrases. Have you ever said any of these words before? Think about how often we say things like, I'm fine, even when we're not, or perhaps say, let's never fight again, only to find ourselves in another disagreement soon after. Have you ever said something you didn't really mean? Maybe you've said something out of frustration to avoid conflict or simply because it was expected. But deep down, you may not have meant it at all. How did those words affect the situation? Did they help or did they hide how you were truly feeling? Now that we've thought about how words can both reveal and conceal our true feelings, we'll dive deeper into understanding how specific words in the poem create vivid images and evoke emotions. To fully appreciate the poem we're about to explore, there are some key vocabulary words that will help us understand the imagery and emotions the poet is conveying. Let's go over these words, their meanings, and sample sentences. First is billows. It means large, swelling waves. Think of the image of a massive wave that rises up and then crashes down. It conveys a sense of motion and force, much like the emotions in the poem. For example, the billows rolled across the ocean, crashing loudly against the rocks. The next word is spray. It's water droplets scattered by wind or force. This word adds to the imagery of water, suggesting a sense of chaos or suddenness, just like in this example. The strong wind sent a cold spray of seawater across her face. Another word is unfathomed. It's mysterious, not fully understood. This word hints at something hidden, something we can't quite grasp or explain, just like the unspoken emotions in a poem. For example, the scientist was drawn to the unfathomed secret of the deep ocean. Another word is withhold, to keep back or to hide something. This word is important because it reflects the idea of suppressing or holding back emotions, much like how the speaker in a poem might feel about their words. For example, she chose to withhold her feelings rather than start another argument. Now that we've familiarized ourselves with these words, billows, spray, unfathomed, and withhold, let's see how they come together in a literary piece. These are not just random words, they are carefully chosen by the poet to paint vivid pictures and to stir deep emotions. As we read, I want you to notice how these words contribute to the tone and meaning of the poem. Let's start with the poem for analysis. It's the poem entitled Words by Angela Manalang Gloria. Let's now read the poem. As we go through it, pay attention to the sound of the words, the images they create, and feelings they suggest. Now let's read the poem Words by Angela Manalang Gloria. I never meant the words I said, so trouble not your honest head. And never mean the words I write, but come and kiss me now, good night. The words I said break with the thunder of billows surging into spray. Unfathomed depths withhold the wonder of all the words I never say. Now that we've read the poem, let's take a closer look at the tools that poet uses to create meaning and emotion. These tools are called poetic devices. They include figures of speech and sound devices that help bring the poem to life. Let's go through them one by one. First is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same beginning consonant sounds in words that are close together. It adds rhythm and can make phrases more memorable or pleasing to the ear. In the poem, words, examples are words I write and come and kiss me. These repeated beginning sounds make the lines more musical and gentle. This softness mirrors the vulnerability of the speaker's emotion. Next is imagery. Imagery is the use of vivid or descriptive language that appeals to the senses, what we can see, hear, feel, taste, or smell. It helps create a picture in the reader's mind. In the poem, words like thunder, billows, spray, and depths make us see and hear the power of the natural elements. These strong images show how intense and overwhelming the speaker's emotions are, like a storm inside that is hard to express with words. Another one is metaphor. A metaphor is a direct comparison between two things that are not alike without using like or as. It gives deeper meaning to an idea by connecting it to something familiar. In the poem, the speaker compares words to natural forces like thunder and waves. This metaphor tells us that words, though small and simple, can carry great power or even damage, just like a storm can. Another one is a rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of sounds that repeat at the end of lines in poetry. It often follows a specific structure, labeled with letters like AA, BB, AB, AB, etc. In the poem, the pattern is AA, BB, CD, CD. Each pair of lines ends with a rhyme. This organized rhyme gives the poem a smooth, flowing rhythm, almost like a lullaby. But even though it sounds calm, the feelings behind it are not calm at all. Now let's look at the rhyme scheme of the poem Words. Let's take the first stanza and go line by line together. I never meant the words I said. Let's label this first line with letter A since it's our starting point and we haven't seen any rhymes yet. So trouble not your honest head. Now look at the last word, head. Does it rhyme with said from the first line? Yes, it does. So this line also gets an A. And never mean the words I write. This time, the last word is right. It doesn't rhyme with said or had, so we give it a new letter, which is B. But come and kiss me now, good night. The last word here is good night, which rhymes with right, so this line also gets a B. So the rhyme scheme for the first stanza is A A B B. Now let's move on to the second stanza. The words I said break with the thunder. Thunder doesn't rhyme with anything from the first stanza, so we assign it a new letter C. Of billows surging into spray. Spray is a new word. It doesn't rhyme with thunder, so it gets a new letter, which is D. Unfathomed depths withhold the wonder. Now we have wonder, which does rhyme with thunder, so we label this line with the same letter, C. Of all the words I never say. Say rhymes with spray, so we give it the same letter, D. The rhyme scheme for the second stanza is CD, CD. When we put it all together, the full rhyme scheme of the poem is AA, BB, CD, CD. This regular pattern gives the poem a gentle, flowing rhythm, which matches the emotional push and pull of the speaker's feelings. Words spoken, words withheld, and everything in between. Now that we've read the poem, let's take a closer look at the tools the poet uses to create meaning and emotion. These tools are called poetic devices. They include figures of speech and sound devices that help bring the poem to life. Let's go through them one by one. How do poetic devices influence the tone of a poem? Now, let's connect all of this to the poem's tone, the overall feeling or attitude of the speaker. The alliteration and rhyme make the poem sound soft and calm, but the imagery and metaphors reveal tension and regret. Together, these devices create a tone that feels emotional, conflicted, and full of unspoken meaning. It's like the speaker is trying to sound gentle and okay on the outside, but deep down there is hurt, regret, and unsaid feelings. This is what makes the poem powerful, the contrast between how it sounds and what it really feels. Have you ever said something in a calm way, even when you were feeling something intense inside? That's exactly what the poet is showing us here. Now that we've seen the poetic devices, let's look at the poet's style and the tone of the poem. These two things tell us a lot about how the poem feels and why it makes us feel a certain way. First, let's talk about the poet's unique style. When we talk about the poet's style, we mean how the poet usually writes, the words they choose, how they arrange them, and what makes their poems stand out. The poet's unique style can be expressive and emotional. She shows strong feelings in her poems like sadness, love, longing, or regret. You can feel the emotion just by reading her lines. In the poem, I never meant the words I said, so trouble not your honest head. These lines show that she's not just telling a story, she's letting us into her heart. And why does it matter? Because it makes us connect with her. We feel what she feels, even if we've never been in her exact situation. Have you ever written or said something emotional like this, maybe in a letter or journal? How did it help you express how you felt? Another poet's unique style is simple yet powerful vocabulary. She uses easy words that still carry deep meaning. There's no need for long or difficult words. Her message comes across clearly and strongly. In the poem, words like kiss, thunder, right, goodnight are short and simple, but they hit you with emotion. Why does it matter? Even younger readers can understand her words and still feel the weight of what she's saying. Can you think of a short word that means a lot to you? Maybe sorry, goodbye, thanks. These small words can hold big feelings, just like in the poem. Another poet's unique style is the use of natural imagery. She uses pictures from nature to help us imagine feelings like the sea, waves, or thunder. This helps us feel the emotion in a more vivid way. In the poem, the words I said break with the thunder of billows surging into spray. You can almost hear the crashing waves and feel the storm. She compares emotions to nature, like a storm inside her. And it really matters because nature is something we all understand. Using it helps us imagine emotions more clearly, even if the poem doesn't explain everything directly. What kind of weather matches how you feel today? Sunshine, storm, rain, or wind? This helps them relate to how Gloria connects feelings and nature. Now let's talk about the tone of the poem. Tone is the emotional voice of the poem. It's how the poem feels, not just what it says. The tone of the poem that we have read is regretful. In the poem, it says, I never meant the words I said. She feels sorry for something, maybe for saying the wrong thing or not saying enough. This sounds like someone who wishes they could take something back. Regret is a feeling we all know. It helps us learn and grow. The poem shows us how words can sometimes hurt, even if we don't mean them to. Next, the tone of the poem is vulnerable. In the poem, but come and kiss me now, good night. Vulnerable means she opens up her heart. She shows her feelings, even the ones that are painful or hard to admit. In the poem, the line, but come and kiss me now, good night. Here, she admits that even though her words didn't mean much, she still wants to feel close. And it really matters because being vulnerable is brave. It means trusting someone with your true feelings. Gloria's poem shows us that poetry can be a safe place to let feelings out. Why do you think some people hide their feelings, their true feelings? This connects with the poem's theme of hiding emotions behind words. Another tone of the poem is it's honest. In the poem, I never meant the words I said. Here, honesty means she tells the truth, not just about what happened, but about how she feels, even if it's confusing or painful. In that line, she says clearly that she didn't mean what she said, and she explains why. That honesty makes the poem feel real. It truly matters because honesty builds trust with the reader and with ourselves. The poem teaches us that it's okay to be truthful, even when it's hard. Do you think it's better to say what you feel, even if it's hard? Why? Angela Manalang Gloria's poem uses simple, powerful words to express deep emotions. Through her vivid natural imagery and honest tone, she conveys feelings of regret, vulnerability, and truth. Her style is expressive yet straightforward, helping us connect with the speaker's emotions and understand how words can sometimes hide or reveal what we truly feel. This time, you will do a task, and here is the instruction. Rewrite the poem using a different tone. Choose one, cheerful, angry, or romantic. For you to have an idea, here is an example. Sample in cheerful tone. I meant each word with joy and light, so rest your heart, will be alright. Each thing I say with glee. Now give a smile and laugh with me. So that is how you are going to do your task. Alright, in conclusion, today we explored how figures of speech, sound devices, and poetic style influence meaning and tone of a poem, and how transforming a poem's tone can reveal different emotional expressions through language. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful journey through poem analysis. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your classmates and friends. And of course, subscribe to Kitchmore for more fun and inspiring lessons. See you next time. Bye!